Hello and welcome to episode 11 of The Final Whistle. I'm Drew Ziegler and I'm here with Stephen Kubis and James Gougosis. Sadly, John Grant is sick and he's not here with us. And today we will talk all about college basketball, the NBA, and MLB spring training. So first up, college basketball. First game we're going to talk about a big win for Tennessee, who was number 10 then and now number 11. They beat who was number 1 top-ranked Alabama, but now number 2, 68-59, and Tennessee was home in that game.
I mean, home crowd win. It's pretty hard to come into any, especially an AP top 10. If I'm Alabama 1 coming into Tennessee, I'm a little nervous. The crowd's going to come at you. And I think it was a great win for Tennessee, honestly. It literally proved to people something, and it really pushed back to Alabama. Alabama was like, oh, Alabama's this, but then they lost. But I think it was a really good win for Tennessee.
Yeah, at the time it was a great win for Tennessee. They were struggling a little, but to get a win over a top-ranked team, you would think, they'd have some momentum going into the next few games. But, it's always tough, like you said, to go on the road if you're Alabama and win in a top 10 ranked matchup. So, I think Alabama will be just fine. Tennessee was a big win for them, though.
Yeah, my guy with the same last name as me, Ziegler, with 15 points for the win at home. But Tennessee, the Volunteers, have been struggling a little bit as they did lose to number 25 Texas A&M Tuesday night, 68-63.
Yeah, Tennessee's just too inconsistent. This is about their 5th loss in the last 7 games. Their defense is elite, but their offense is just inconsistent. They'll drop 90 one game and then barely scratch 60. They're so inconsistent. I know in my bracket, no, they're not making it past the Sweet 16.
Texas A&M, man. What a nice little story they got going on. That's awesome for them. Honestly, I'm happy to see all these teams coming out right now, showing them like they have a chance to make some noise. And I think Texas A&M will be a scary team in March, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're just an SEC team, and all SEC teams are good, but Texas A&M really showing they can be a good team like Tennessee. It really changes everything I look at now. So I'm glad for Texas A&M.
Yeah, Tennessee, they don't really have that one guy like other teams do, but the Aggies have won 17 of their last 19 games. Really impressive. And next, who was top-ranked recently, Purdue. They had 2 straight losses against Maryland and ranked Northwestern, but they did bounce back with a big win over skidding Ohio State, who was ranked earlier in the year.
Purdue, frauds. Honestly, that's how I think of them, frauds. How do you lose to Northwestern and Maryland? How do you do that? You can't really do that.
And Kansas, who has been a great team pretty much all year, they had a huge 17-point comeback against a good team in Baylor at Allen Fieldhouse.
Baylor lost to both Kansas. It's got to be pretty rough losing to the brothers in Kansas. But Baylor's been I don't know. They've been here and there. They're a really quiet team, but they're a really good team. I don't know. But it's good for Kansas. They had a little hiccups here and there, and I think they needed that big win right there, and I think it's really good for them.
Yeah, Kansas in the toughest part of their schedule, playing their best basketball. That's what you need to do. After they had 3 consecutive losses, they've been playing really, really well. And for Baylor, it's been the complete opposite. They were rising up, becoming top 10 team. They have 2 big matchups, and you're up 17 against Kansas at Kansas, which nobody beats Kansas in Allen Fieldhouse. And then you blow the lead. That's so deflating. And then to lose to Kansas State, that's kind of expected after losing to Kansas with that type of lead.
Yeah, Jalen Wilson, one of the top players in the country with a big game per usual, 21 points and 13 rebounds. And as you said, Kansas State, number 14, big win against number 9 Baylor, 75-65. Keontae Johnson led Kansas State with a game-high 25 points.
Yeah, we've been saying this all year. What a story for Keontae Johnson after his scary moment 2 years ago. He's one of the best players in the country. Kansas State, it's a really important win for them. To beat Baylor, even though they did lose, but beating Baylor in general, top 10 team, it's a big win. Good for your resume.
Kansas State having a hell of a year. All these sports, basketball, football. I'm glad to see Johnson, go out there and just play his heart out. Obviously he had that heart injury against Florida State a couple years ago that prevented him to play. But he's probably the best transfer in the portal this year. It's probably not even close. Led this Kansas State team to all these wins. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, there are a few more big upsets on Tuesday night also. I think the biggest one, Villanova upsets number 16 Xavier, 64-63 on the road.
Villanova, obviously you hear Villanova good basketball, but this year it's terrible basketball. That surprised me more than ever. I didn't expect them to go there and win, but here we are today and they won. So
yeah, this could be the start of something special. they're playing better than they were at the beginning of the year. If they could rack a couple of wins and make a deep run in the Big East tournament with a lot of ranked teams, a lot of quad one opportunities, they might like sneak their way in. If they win the Big East, they're in the tournament. So I'm not gonna put too much. I'm not gonna like pay attention to it too much, but in a couple of weeks, if Villanova's on a nice winning streak, they could be a threat to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're still only 500 right now, around 14-14. They did lose their coach, Jay Wright, and that's obviously been a huge blow for them. And Michigan State also a big upset Tuesday night after an emotional win, obviously coming back from that tragic event that happened at their school. They beat number 17 Indiana 80-65.
Yeah, emotional win for that university. Big win for them. Indiana's been playing really, really well. They just beat Purdue, Illinois, but Michigan State, they're a sleeper team for me. I think, I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to them, but they're definitely a team that can make a run in the March Madness.
Michigan State, they really need to go out there and get that win after what happened at their campus. But it's great to see everybody was there supporting them, watching the game, cheering on Michigan State. But I think Michigan State, I don't think everybody's realized, but their schedule has been like extremely hard from the start till now. And I think they'll make a lot of noise in the Big Ten and the March Madness tournament.
Yeah, they're a good team to watch out for. And in the Big East, the big game, number 10 Marquette beats number 18 Creighton 73-71 in Creighton.
Hey, it's pretty tough. Marquette is a 10 seed for a reason. They're a really good team. It's pretty tough to go on the road and win. I don't know how they pulled it off. It was really good. They played really good. They kept the lead the whole entire game. It really impressed me right there.
Yeah, Marquette had a little slow start to the season, especially losing to Wisconsin, in-state rival. That's a pretty tough loss, but to come back, now they're playing really, really well. Now they're a 10 seed for a reason, but to really go into Creighton and come out there and pull out the W, it's really important for them.
Yeah, and another Big East game coming up. Number 20 Providence at number 18 UConn. That'll be a close game and a good one to watch.
Yeah, I think it's important for UConn to win that game. They were all the way up to number 2 at one point in the season. But also for Providence, they lost all their starters, I think. They're all seniors, and for them to be right back in the mix, being a top 20 team, it's really impressive for me. It's really, really good what's happening down there in Providence.
Yeah, UConn, I haven't liked them since the beginning of the year. They're like the biggest frauds of college basketball. They're in the top 25. They're not in it. They lose. They win. I don't know. They're just not a team you can trust. Providence, they beat them one time already. I think they're going to do it twice because UConn is just that. It's just that 50-50 team you're going to get there, and I don't know. I just don't trust them.
Yeah, Steven, big UConn hater, known. And a team we just talked about earlier, number 17 Indiana and number 5 Purdue. Indiana won that game in the past, and let's see if they can do it again.
Purdue didn't lose to Maryland and Northwestern. Why not lose to Indiana? Indiana does need this one. They were really good at the beginning of the year. Everybody's like, oh, this could be like the juggernauts, but they obviously cooled off, But I think this win right here will make a big name out of them right now. I think it'll be really good for them.
Yeah, this is a huge opportunity for Indiana. This is really to solidify themselves as maybe even a title contender. To go into Purdue, if they can pull out a win there, that'd be one of the best wins of the season by any team, after losing to Michigan State. It's a huge opportunity for Indiana.
Yeah, in Purdue, but they do have Trace Jackson Davis, so never count him out. And number 8 Texas at number 9 Baylor. Baylor needs a win in this one, I think.
They desperately need a win. Losing 2 tough games. If Baylor wants to save their season here, they gotta win. And for Texas, Texas, with their coach getting fired, they've been having a really good season, in my opinion. One of the more underrated teams.
Texas, I think Texas is going to win this game. I don't know. I feel one of those gutsy feelings that Baylor just doesn't have what it takes to beat them. But they did lose 2 Big 12 games, which is not what you want to do. But I think they need to win this one to make a good impression on everybody. But I think Texas is going to come out.
Yeah, I think Baylor's got this one. They've got their crowd behind them, and they need this win. And then out west, finally, they have numbers 15 St. Mary's at number 12 Gonzaga.
Hey, St. Mary's did it once. Why not do it twice? I'm a big Gonzaga hater too, but I don't think they got that. I just don't think they're as good as they usually are. They don't have a star point guard. I think that's the reason why they haven't been playing as good as they should be doing. But hey, St. Mary's, they play as a team. when they played Gonzaga the first time, they had 4 guys over 10 points. And I think that shows a lot as a team. I think they'll win because they're a team.
Yeah, Gonzaga's home, right? I'm pretty sure they're home.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I got Gonzaga. I mean, even though they had their one loss at home, I think they're just a different team at home than compared to away. So I got Gonzaga in this one.
Yeah, that game went to OT last time, and hopefully it goes to it again to see another thrilling victory by one of the teams. And we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll be talking about the NBA. We're back, and now we're going to talk about the NBA. We just had the All-Star break. We got about 23 games to go in the season. First up, we're going to talk about the Slam Dunk Contest, where Mac McClung, G League player, put on an absolute show.
I mean, yeah, that was probably the worst dunk contest I've really seen. I mean, Mac McClung, I mean, he's been doing it since high school. His highlights in high school are exactly what he showed out there. And the dunk contest is just ridiculous for a kid like that to do all those dunks. But then you also got to look at the other contestants. Like, I'm going to say Jericho Sims, fellow Nick. But he's too, I don't know. I think he's like too tall and jumps way too high to be like doing all these flashy dunks. I feel like a person like Mac McClung is like a person that should be in it and should be doing those dunks because Jericho Simpson had like a height that like he's basically as tall as like almost the hoop is, and he jumps like above the actual hoop, so it's like really hard for him to do like some like twisty things when he's way up in the air.
Yeah, he did a similar dunk multiple times, but Mac McClung, he's been going viral since like high school, and it showed. He's still a G League player, but at least he can dunk a lot with almost all 450s on all of his dunks. And in the 3-point contest, one of the expected winners, Damian Lillard, he put on a show and he won the contest.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he shot pretty well. I mean, that in the first round, you know, Tyrese shot amazing. I don't know what happened. I mean, his jump shot looks terrible, but it just kept going in, so I kept my mouth shut. But then also like Julius Randle. I mean, I don't know why he was in there in the first place. I mean, just
he was a replacement.
Just stick to playing for Knicks basketball, man. Stop shooting the threes in the contest. But I'm proud. I'm proud of Damian Lillard. You know, he's been quiet this season. And I think that really that like made him stood out a little bit more.
Yeah, Julius Randle's son Kaiden was a little upset with his dad's performance, but the Knicks are winning games, so he'll be fine. And in the All-Star game, no defense like usual in the past few years, but Team Giannis won 184 to 175.
I mean, finally he won. He was like, he hasn't won a game yet. LeBron's like 5-0. He's like whatever 0-3, but he finally won. I'm happy for Giannis. He's such a good guy. You know, he played literally 10 seconds, scored 2 points. But I think the All-Star game you got to play for something. Like they should do like what they used to do like for baseball with Game 7. If they make it there, whoever wins that game, because it's boring. Like you're watching all these like stars playing, they're just like walking to the like rim and shooting. But like Jason Tatum made it fun to watch. Obviously putting up 55 points, you know, setting the record there. I mean, he's looking like I think he wants the MVP. I think it's clear that he wants to do it. I mean, he won in that NBA All-Star game, trying to show everybody like, oh, back off me. Like I'll just give you buckets anywhere. And I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the best moment of that All-Star game was Jason Tatum going against Jaylen Brown 1v1. That was pretty cool to see. But it used to be these players are picked for a reason, and they're the best players in the world, so they should put on a show and play hard. And Nuggets coach Michael Malone, he also said it was the worst basketball game ever played. But now we're going to get into the real show of the NBA. So the standings are pretty close, especially in the West. The 4 seed and like the 13 seed Lakers are separated by only about 5 games. So it's a really close race. Who do you think's going to stand out in the West there?
I don't know. It's very sloppy basketball in the West, you can really say, if all these teams are really that close. But honestly, the Lakers could turn it around and make it no matter what. I think the 4 through, what'd you say, 14?
4 through 13, yeah.
13. It's very interchangeable. I mean, one bad losing streak calls you the playoffs. One really good winning streak can get you in, but it's very shaky there. And I don't know. I don't really trust any of those teams in the playoffs, so I probably wouldn't bet money on them.
The Nuggets are leading. I feel like they've been leading the past few years. They're usually around the 1 seed, and the last 2 seeds in the West, though, the Rockets and the Spurs, they're not going anywhere, still rebuilding. And, But in the East, there are some good teams standing out, especially the Celtics, who have been at the top of the East the whole year. But the Bucks are right behind them, 1 game. What are your thoughts on those two?
I mean, yeah, they're just dominant teams. They'll be dominant for the next couple of years, too. I mean, Giannis is basically the Bucks team, and you don't see him going anywhere else. So I think the Bucks will be good. Same thing for Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. They're duos and really good, especially with his MVP year right now. I think he's going to have. They're really going to see him make a far run this year.
Yeah, the Hornets, who were in the play-in last year, around one of the last seeds, are having a terrible season, obviously dealing with a lot of injuries, including LaMelo Ball on his ankle.
Yeah, I mean, if he's healthy, I think they win a lot of games. He's an exciting player. He does it all for them. Passes, shoots, rebounds, plays defense. He does everything for the Hornets. But without him in, it's like he's like really not replaceable, so it's really hard for them.
Yeah, and his brother Lonzo out for the year again with his knee injury. We don't really know what the knee injury is, but it's obviously severe, and it's keeping him out with the Bulls in the 11th seed right now, so just looking in from the play-in. And those top 6 seeds or so can all be interchangeable, especially like 4 through 6 with the Cavs, Nets, and Knicks right now. Who do you think's the best team out of those 3?
Well, I'm going to say the Nets are going to go down a little bit more. I can see them possibly making I think they might, if anything, they'll be in the play-in tournament because I think they'll still be in the playoffs. But I really see like the Knicks striving up because I don't really see a team like the Knicks being like the same they are right now because I think they're getting better as the season goes on. It's really hard to stop a team that's really getting better. And I think like the Cavs and the 76ers, they're going to stay like the same. Like they're not going to get better, not going to get worse. They're just going to be the same old team. But I think the Knicks can like really make it up there, a 4 or 5 seed because of the way they're getting better throughout the season.
Yeah, the Cavs have a really good young team. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell leading them, and I think they're a really exciting team, and they can make a run. And the Hawks, in the 8 seed right now, 29-30, they just fired their head coach, Nate McMillan. Is that a little surprising to you?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not always the coach that's the problem. I mean, you can obviously blame the coach for being the problems, but it could also be the team. I mean, you got to look at both of them. And I think the Hawks just don't – like, they got two. Okay, I'm gonna say this. They got 2 selfish players, Murray and Trae Young, pretty selfish players. But you need a team. You need like a foundation to play around. Like you need like a guy that will sacrifice 1 20-point game to go play defense and give assists. But I don't think they got that.
Yeah, DeJounte Murray is pretty good on defense, but John Collins, who is supposed to be a great player, he hasn't been playing well this season, and that's obviously hurt them. And now we're going to take a break, and we'll be joined by James Gougosis to talk about spring training and our thoughts on the new baseball rules. We're back, and now we're going to get into spring training. There are a bunch of new rules coming up for the MLB 2023 season, first being pitch timer, where a pitcher must begin his motion before the expiration of the 15-second timer or 20 seconds with at least 1 runner on base.
When I first heard about the 15 seconds, I mean, I thought that was really quick. I feel like there's going to be, at the beginning of the year, there's going to be a lot of problems with pitchers. I think by the end of the year, people will adjust. So I'm not going to say it's going to be a huge deal. I think players will adjust, but I was shocked by the 15 seconds with no runners on.
I mean, yeah, I don't like this rule at all. I was watching a bunch of college baseball, and they have that rule now in college baseball too. And I saw a couple of times where a batter would walk from the batter's on deck circle to the batter's box, and they have no time to like just get a little adjusted to like the dirt inside the box and like kick it around a little bit. And there's an automatic strike for if the pitcher isn't ready, it's automatic ball. The batter isn't ready, automatic strike. That's just like isn't baseball. Like it's just not. It's not it.
Yeah, I think the beauty of the game baseball is that it takes time, and there's time in between batters where there's 30 seconds also in between each batter.
Yeah, I can't wait for the one big at bat, and then someone gets automatically called strike 3 with 2 strikes because they were waiting too long. That's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, and another rule, there will be restrictions on shifts, finally. Some players will have better games in the future, especially like lefties with big shifts on them.
Yeah, I think this is a good rule. I think the shift has really been getting insane as of late. I think Joey Gallo is going to have a big year. I think he's going to really become that hitter he once was without the shift. Because he was always hitting the ball into the shift because he can never hit the ball the other way.
I mean, there's a lot of lefty batters. Rafael Devers, Cody Bellinger, I think will have better seasons because of this shift. But I also think that's like, I think that's what makes it unique about the game. I mean, hey, if one person's just hitting the ball to the right side of the field, why would you want to have all these other guys on the left side of the field, and where potentially you could just prevent it happening? I mean, I understand it ruins hits and stuff like that, but it's like it's part of the game. Learn how to hit the ball to the other way. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how this rule plays out into the season. And our last rule, there will be larger bases. Not sure how much it'll affect the game, but we'll see.
I mean, hey, it could affect with the stealing bases. I think gain that little extra couple inches to the bases will give a lot of people a lot more bags, maybe, especially like a person like Starling Marte or Trey Turner. I think that may give him a little more base stealing this year, but that's what we want to see. I want to see more stealing in the major league. I mean, we don't really see it that much, but I think it'll be cool. It'll make sure you have a good catcher behind the plate now, which is also very important.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many more there's gonna be more attempted steals. I don't know how many more successful steals there will be, but more attempted steals makes the game fun. I really like when players steal. I mean, nobody steals anymore, which makes it kind of boring, but I think we're really gonna get a big increase in attempted steals.
Yeah, as you said, there's been a lot less steals recently, and I don't think that's really going to change with the base increase that much. And there's obviously a lot of players in new uniforms. Who are you most excited to see?
The player I'm most excited for is probably Trey Turner. I think I'm a big fan of Trey Turner, even though he's on the Phillies. I'm not going to be excited to play against him, but I think Trey Turner and the Phillies uniform, that lineup it's really top heavy, but I think they're going to be really, really good this year.
I mean, I'm excited to see Justin Verlander. I'm going to say I'm a Mets fan, but honestly, I mean, he's 4 years old, won the Cy Young last year. I mean, what else do I expect from that guy besides greatness? I mean, he really isn't that bad. I'm just happy he's back with his brother in Detroit, Max Scherzer, and I can't wait to see that duo just go out.
Yeah, they got to stay healthy, get into a retirement home there, but hopefully that doesn't happen because we're all Mets fans here, and hopefully we can win a ring. And that'll do it for us on episode 11. Thank you for tuning in to The Final Whistle, and we will see you next week.